Hi, and thanks for tuning in. I'm Josh Dacian, a professional real estate broker and property investor. I've been doing this for a while now, so wanted to make a podcast that would answer a lot of common questions I get from my clients, but also address some misperceptions that persist in the industry. Whether you're a brand new buyer, totally new to real estate, or you've owned and sold multiple homes in your life, I definitely have some good experience and advice to share with you. The title of this podcast is the who, when, and why of property tax appeal. The why you should appeal your property taxes is that the system is inherently unfair, especially if you live in Cook County. If you're on the north side and you have a valuable home, you're probably being taxed less than you are if you live on the south side. This is true and it's been true for a long time, and it will be true for a long time. So if you want to reduce your property tax bill, you have to appeal. If you appeal regularly, you will end up paying less than average. If you don't appeal, which most people don't, you will probably pay more than average. So that's the why. The next question is the who. Who should appeal the property taxes? Well, if you're a homeowner, you can do it yourself, but there are some important things to consider. The first thing to consider is that you need to know how the game is played before you can appeal your taxes. The Cook County assessor tries to place a assessed value per square foot tax on homes, meaning basically that the tax you pay is roughly proportional to the size of your home. However, there's a big distribution in that assessed value per square foot, and you want to make sure you're on the lower end rather than the higher end. The second thing is you have to have access to the data. So you have to know exactly which homes are the right comparables if you go in and contest them. You can't just pick a home that is next to you that's twice the size and 30 years newer. It's the wrong comparable. Most counties sort their homes by size, by age, etc. So you can't just randomly pick homes. You have to stay within your class. The third thing is that you have to stay on top of very tight appeal deadlines. So in your township, your appeal window could be, example, February 15th to March 3rd with the assessor, and April 4th through 28th for the Cook County Board of Review. They're totally random. They probably change every year to year. It takes a lot of discipline to stay on top of those deadlines. So you definitely can do it yourself. I've done it myself in the past, had some success, but found myself consistently forgetting to appeal in those deadlines and then having to wait another year. So if you're not going to do it yourself, what do? You hire a property tax attorney. Why should you hire a property tax attorney? Well, they only charge if they win, actually. So if they get you a $2,000 reduction in your property tax bill for this year, you will probably have to pay them between $500 and $1,000 for this year only. So you're still going to come out ahead. You're going to net money. Two, they will likely have better success than you. I've appealed stuff myself with not much luck. I've given it to an attorney, had much better luck because they know how the game is played. They know which properties to pick for their appeal and whatnot. So they're going to have a better chance than you are, as it happened for me, of getting the taxes lowered. And then finally, truthfully, they're way more politically connected than you. Are you playing golf with these guys regularly in the Cook County Board of Commissioners and Assessors? Probably not. So yes, it's not ideal, but that's the joy of living in Cook County. Finally, the question of when. When should you appeal your property taxes? I would say you should always appeal your taxes now. So what does that mean? Well, if you hire an attorney, you can basically just sign paperwork with them. It will enter their system. You'll get put in a queue such that when the time comes around, you're automatically in the system for appeal, and you don't have to then worry about missing the deadline. They do this year-round, and it's their job to manage this process for you. Also, you would probably want to appeal every year, because even if you get a reduction in 1 year, it doesn't mean you can't appeal the next year. So if you appeal again the next year, you could even get another reduction. And again, you only pay the attorney for a fraction of your savings. The last point to keep in mind, if you don't sign with an attorney now, you'll probably forget when the time comes next 6 months from now or next year, and then you'll put yourself behind yet another year. In conclusion here, you can do it yourself. It takes a little bit of skill and hard work to be successful yourself. So I recommend to my clients, as I do myself now, to find a good trusted attorney, and I'm more than happy to provide several with whom I've done business and had success. Turn it over to the attorney, trust them, and you will win in the long run. So one common question I get is, well, how do I know if I can appeal my taxes or if it's even worth it? Well, a good attorney will be able to actually look at your home pretty quickly versus comparable homes, because they have their own database of where they've been winning and whatnot, and they can tell you pretty quickly, and it should not cost anything. And secondly, let's say they do think there's a case to be made, but they go and both the assessor's office and the board of review say, nope, sorry, we're not going to give you a reduction. Well, it's okay, because again, you don't have to pay them an hourly rate. It's some obscene amount. You just have to give them a percentage of the savings. So they are incentivized to save you money. If they can't get you a reduction, then that's it. You don't owe them any money. We've covered a lot of ground, and I could talk for a much longer period of time. So if you're tuning in on YouTube, please leave any additional questions you have in the comment section. Or if you're on Facebook, go ahead and leave a comment. If you're listening on audio only, feel free to go to my website, which is www.joshuajasien.com. JOSHUAJASIEN.com. Very happy to get more questions or even provide referrals to attorneys I've worked with successfully in the past. So thanks for tuning in. Look forward to hearing more. Very happy to help.